Okay, so let's talk about a digital mystery that's literally hiding in plain sight. It's something you've probably scrolled past 1,000 times and never really thought about. We are going to crack the case of the unchanging profile picture.
Come on, you know exactly who I'm talking about. We all have that one friend. Maybe it's that kind of blurry photo from a concert or that perfect beach picture from like a decade ago. The world keeps spinning, but their digital self, it's just frozen in time. So, why? What's the deal with that? It's so easy to just chalk it up to laziness. And to be fair, that's kind of part of it, but it's not the whole story, not even close. The real reasons are actually rooted in some pretty fascinating psychology about who we are, what we remember, and how our brains are just trying to keep up with this crazy online world. All right, so our first clue in this investigation leads us to something I call the golden photo theory. This is the idea that some pictures aren't just pictures, they're more like artifacts. They capture a moment where we felt like we were at our absolute peak. And this quote right here, it just nails it. For so many people, that old photo represents a time they felt their happiest, or their most attractive, or maybe the most confident they've ever been. It's not just a snapshot of a face, it's a snapshot of a feeling they want to hold on to for dear life. And this is where that core psychological tension comes into play. You've got the ideal self versus the actual self. That golden photo becomes this permanent symbol of our ideal self, the person we want to be. It's a solid, perfect, unchanging point of pride, standing against our everyday, sometimes messy, constantly evolving actual self. It's a way of saying, hey world, this is me at my very best. Okay, so beyond just making us feel good, that picture serves another, even deeper purpose. Let's dig into that. It actually becomes a kind of anchor for our identity in what can be a really chaotic online world. And this all boils down to a super important concept: cognitive ease. Basically, our brains are wired to be efficient. You could almost say lazy. They love shortcuts. And familiar images require way less mental energy to process than new ones. So your brain just naturally prefers consistency because, well, it's easier. And this preference has some real, tangible benefits, right? For your friends scrolling through their feed, your unchanging photo is like a familiar landmark. They see it and boom, they instantly know it's you, no extra brain power needed. And for you, it totally gets rid of the stress of picking a new picture. It helps build a consistent personal brand, and it simplifies everything. And that's exactly why it's such a powerful anchor. Think about it. In this digital sea where everything is constantly changing, trends, opinions, even our own moods, that one little photo provides this incredible sense of stability. It's a constant that quietly reinforces who you are every single time you log on. But, okay, let's get real for a second. We've talked about all these deep psychological reasons, but there's another, much more straightforward side to this whole thing. And it's something we can all relate to. It's just the path of least resistance. I mean, does this sound familiar to anyone else? First, you have the sudden realization that your photo is ancient. Then you start the epic quest, scrolling through thousands of recent pictures. You zoom in, you critique everything, and finally you just decide that none of them are quite as good as the original. So you give up. Problem solved. And this chart just backs that all up. A huge reason is that it's just too much dang effort. The search for a better photo usually ends in frustration. And honestly, sometimes people just don't care that much. That combination of high effort and low reward is a powerful recipe for doing, well, nothing. So let's bring all these pieces together. We've got the emotional connection to our ideal self, we have the brain's natural preference for things that are easy, and we have good old-fashioned inertia. So what does it all mean when you put it all together? Well, it really adds up to this. The choice, or, the non-choice, to keep that profile picture is this complex cocktail. About a third of it is holding on to that peak version of yourself. Another big chunk is about maintaining a stable sense of identity. And the rest? It's a mix of your brain taking the easy way out and, yeah, a healthy slice of pure laziness. But what this all really boils down to is one powerful idea. Your profile picture is your digital handshake. In a world where our first impression is almost always online, that tiny little square is our introduction. It's the first thing we say about ourselves, without saying a word. So in that way, it's actually more than just a photo. It's your personal logo. It communicates stability and recognizability. It's how people find you and how people know you in this incredibly vast and noisy online world.
Which leaves us with one final thought. One question for you to think about. Whether you change it every week or haven't touched it in a decade, your profile picture is telling a story. It's saying something about your identity, your past, how you see yourself. So, take a quick look at yours. What story is it telling the world?